subversion was begun by a scientist who discovered, quite by accident, these signals being sent. Please understand, they are safe as long as they are not discovered.
Look out for Charlie.
I want him dead.
Okay, so I just put out this video on this YouTuber who was talking about Randy Weaver and Ruby Ridge for 50 minutes, and then he was hit by a pulse. A pulse came through the room that was enough to move the blinds. And a voice comes through after that. Check it out. I'm going to play it one time.
It's just sad.
And you can hear the voice come through. I'll play that part again.
I want that. I want that. I want that.
And it totally freaks the guy out. Well, immediately it started being subverted. Oh, you're saying that it can move inanimate objects or whatever. That's not what I'm saying at all. I'm saying that ELF is carrying this, and it can come right through the power grid and pulse. And what it does is the exact same thing that a subwoofer is doing. It didn't move the couch, it didn't move the lamp, it didn't move the dude. Right? It moved the blinds. To prove my point, pay attention to the way the blinds move back and forth.
It's just sad.
Forward and backward. Forward and backward. Now watch the windshield. The pressure from this subwoofer is going to move the windshield in an identical way as the blinds were moved. Now here's another one. See that? Back and forth, like it's forward and backward at the same time. Pressure. Okay, forward and backward, you saw that. If we loop those blinds, it's identical to the windshields moving back and forth. Forward and backward, you can see the ELF frequency pushing it forward and backward at the exact same time. It is no different. It's the exact same thing, it's just pressure. So it's not just moving inanimate objects, it's pushing light things that can be manipulated because they're so light by the pressure of the sound waves coming through. Check out this girl's hair, for example. Her head doesn't move, it doesn't move the car, it's not moving inanimate objects around. It moves her hair because it's light and it can manipulate it. Now, if she would have been standing in front of that pulse, that exact same thing would have probably happened. And take note that it happened behind the dude's head. So this pulse comes through, and a voice riding on the pulse echoes through the microphone and into the recording.
It's just sad.
And that's what I was saying. And somebody was like, well, how could they find the guy? Well, guess what? You got a smart meter with an address on it now. There's a dozen things that are listening to you that identify you in your house now, in a typical house. So you have to consider all these things, and you have to understand how 21st century technology works. If you have a 1900s attitude, you are not going to understand this. And you're not going to understand it right away regardless. This takes a while to understand, and you need to understand all the properties of it. But this is just acting like a subwoofer and moving the stuff. And the voice comes through 100%. There are not spooks hiding in the bushes doing this. These are not ghosts. They are not demons. This is a weaponized sound. And you can see the ELF move the blinds. It's not just moving inanimate objects. So don't try to subvert this information. This is what's going on, and it proves it. It proves that the ELF pulse moves the blinds when it's created, and it can piggyback on all sorts of different things. It's a very real vibration. This is weaponized sound. Here is a tweaked version of the audio from that incident that I tweaked further. Check it out. The swoosh comes through, which is the ELF carrying the voice on it.
It's just sad.
So that is what vibrates the blinds right there. And then the voice comes through there. But I want to show you something else real quick. So to show you what I'm talking about spectrally, If you look, this is 100 hertz. This is 50 hertz and under. So around 50 hertz, 50, 60 hertz, a big ELF pulse comes through here when that happens.
It's just that.
And then it goes away. So that is what's going on. A big ELF pulse hit, and it was big enough and strong enough to modulate and move those blinds. But the voice there, that's what's riding on the ELF. Like a message. And that's it for now. Look out for Charlie.
I don't like the world now. I mean, before I always knew I was a son of a bitch. But now I'm the only son of a bitch I know. Hey, make way for a real human being. Get out of the way, yeah.
Look out for Charlie.
I want that son of a bitch dead. I want him dead.